Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Daily Anime Talk, where I go over some of the most recent episodes and give my thoughts on them. For this video I'm going to cover a lot of last week's anime, going through Monday to Thursday. If you do like the video, make sure to leave a like and make sure to subscribe to get up to date with all the stuff I'm going to be uploading. I'm going to upload at least two to three episodes this week, so make sure to subscribe to keep up to date and see when they come out. Okay, and then starting off, the first thing I watched was I'm Quitting Heroing, Episode 3. Leo has been given his next task by Steiner to travel to the Demon Army allied island nation with Lily and secure supplies for the castle. Leo is very hesitant that Lily is capable, but knows he has to at least try. The whole first day they are there, Lily has them racing around through the town, moving supplies with no efficiency. Lily has cyclopses moving tiny boxes, goblins controlling giant beasts, and bird creatures doing absolutely nothing. After racing around, Lily says that is it for the day with hardly anything done. Leo realises he needs to change Lily's thought process on working, so pretends to be ill and sends Lily on a quest to find medicine, and Leo has set up trials that Lily will need to use teamwork to get through. Unfortunately, Lily basically brute forces her way through most of them. Leo even pretended to be a traveller to help, but she still brute forced it in her Fenrir form. Eventually, after waking up the next day, Lily shows Leo a plan she has come up with, and it's perfect. Leo realises all he had to do was suggest it instead of using the overcomplicated trials. Back at the castle with the supplies, Steiner relays a message to Leo. Echidna wants to meet the Black Onyx Knight, which leaves Leo very worried. I had a lot of fun with this episode. It wasn't overly complicated, it was just Leo and Lily spending time as generals together, really. It was mainly about Leo trying to show Lily how to be a proper commander and get tasks done and planned out, because she's a very in the moment kind of person. She'll be like, okay, let's do this. Okay, now let's do this. There's no real planning involved. Like, she was having the Cyclopses doing tiny little work that the goblins could do, and the bird creatures were doing absolutely nothing, where they could have flown boxes over much quicker. But in the end, after the big trial that Leo put her through, he realised that she doesn't need to be trialed or made to look like an idiot, even though she can be sometimes. All they need to do is suggest it, and she will come up with a good plan by herself, because she's capable. I think it's just the fact that she's a bit young and naive, and they need to trust her a bit more. And I think Leo learnt his lesson. And it's interesting to see what's going to happen next, because the Echidna, the Demon Lord, is gonna she might recognise Leo even in the armour, so it should be interesting to see how their reaction to each other is the next episode. But it's good to see them gaining some trust and understanding for each other. Like, Leo's better understanding the generals, that they're more capable than they look. And I'm interested to see the scaled general, the big warrior one, that we'll probably get to see in the next episode, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, and then the next thing I watched was Ascendance of a Bookworm, episode 28. Mina started her stay at the church for the winter and has been doing her daily activities. These range from learning her guitar, transferring her mana, and teaching people at the church. Mina's been helping Gil with his maths, and because he wants to impress Mine, he has been trying really hard to learn, even when others don't see the importance of learning these skills. During her stay, Mine is visited by Lutz and Tully, but because her mother is heavily pregnant, she can't visit. Tully tells Mine stories, and this helps to calm her down. Benno also visits, mainly to meet with the church higher-ups, but when he sees Mine and Ferdinand, they are still worried about the Ink Guild and what actions they may take in the future. Later on, Mine, Ferdinand, and the two close acquaintances of Ferdinand discuss Mine being adopted into a noble family, which angers Mine, as she loves her family deeply. Ferdinand knows he has to come up with a solution to keep Mine safe, though. This was a very cool episode. It was cool to see the adoption storyline continuing, and we get to see the relationship between Tully and Lutz and Mine, because Mine loves her family. She loves everyone that's close to her, and she doesn't want to be away from home, and these small chances she gets to see them, she makes the most of. It's nice to see her developing a relationship between the lower down in the churches, like Gil, who she obviously has the knowledge of language and stuff, and she wants to teach everyone, because a lot of them aren't very in tune with their knowledge. They're not very good at literacy and math, so everyone wants to learn because they see it as an important thing, some of them, especially Gil, who understands that Mine is very high up in the in the totem pole of people because she knows these skills, and he sees that and wants to learn as well because obviously Benno thinks a lot of mine because of the way she thinks and learns. But I'm enjoying it. It's fun to see mine like improving and becoming important to people and coming up with new ideas, even though it is impacting her in a negative way with the Ink Guild. I'm interested to see how that pans out as well because clearly something's going to happen. I'm not sure if it's going to be good or bad, so I'm looking forward to see how that goes. I'm also interested to see how this adoption thing goes because they keep mentioning it, and I'm sure something's going to come of it because they're not just going to let mine keep getting in danger over and over again. They're going to have to come up with a way. And this adoption thing seems like what they want to go with, but mine isn't going to agree to it, I don't think so. I think they're going to have to come to a compromise or something, so I'm looking forward to see how that turns out in the end. Okay, and then the next thing I watched was Deaimon, Recipe for Happiness, Episode 3. Itsuka is on her way to school when she notices someone with a guitar and thinks it could be her dad, so follows him onto a bus. While waiting, she falls asleep and ends up at the last stop at a mountain shrine. Because Itsuka ended up skipping school, the school rings the shop and Nagamo finds out. He doesn't tell his parents and goes straight out to find her, and after getting some intel from the school, ends up at the shrine. While at the shrine, Itsuka meets a woman who is visiting from Tokyo and treats Itsuka to some sweets. Her name is Kanako. Itsuka and Kanako walk down from the shrine and run into Nagamo. Kanako is actually Nagamo's ex-girlfriend who left him just before he returned home. They drop Itsuka at school and Nagamo invites Kanako for tea at the shop. The shop is really busy, so Nagamo has to help, and even Kanako ends up helping. To thank Kanako and treat Itsuka, Nagamo takes them both to the local festival and they have a fun night. This was a really sweet episode because we get to meet this new woman, Kanako, who is a ex-girlfriend of Nagamo, so we get to see her loving side because she meets Itsuka straight off the bat and they start getting along and she offers her some food, which is really nice, and over the course of the episode we get to see the relationship that she had with Nagamo, which is really nice because when we think of Nagamo we think of this like person that just went off, had a fun time with a band and then just came home like 10 years later. But no, he did have a life out there in Tokyo and he seemed to enjoy it, and then during the episode you see that she dumped him when he considered going home, which is kind of cruel really, and now she's gone to that same place, not on purpose. She ended up there by accident, it seems, but by the end of the episode she's got a job as well there, so they might rekindle their relationship, and I think that would be good for Itsuka as well because she needs a stable group of people around her because obviously the relationship with the dad fell apart and we don't know if he's ever going to show up or not, so it'd be good to see Nagamo and Itsuka be kind of like the mum and dad step-ins, so that'd be quite nice. And then it's all just a good round story really. I'm just enjoying the banter between the characters, especially the dad who gets very angry a lot at Nagamo, which is quite funny. I imagine we'll get introduced to other characters as well because it seems like every episode we get a new character. So episode 3 was the young girl that works in the shop, and this one we get Kanako, so maybe we'll get a new character next episode that is a member of the family, you never know. So I'm looking forward to that though. Okay, and then the next episode I watched was RPG Real Estate Episode 3. Kotane is showing a client around different properties, but none of them seem to fit her needs, but is willing to wait for a new property. When everyone is back at the main office, they get notice that another client has left a specific room because it was haunted, which scares the group. All 4 of them go to investigate and see what is actually going on in the building. When they get to see the specific room, they see multiple signs of ghosts, hiding in closets, floating furniture, and ghostly hands grabbing their legs. They leave immediately. When back at the main office, they contemplate what they can do when Kosane's client from before asks about the haunted building. It will work for her as she is a necromancer, so we'll take it. The next day, all government workers are summoned to the castle to contribute some mana power towards the new warp gates. Everything goes well until it gets to Far, who instantly fills the machine up, which then breaks it. Since she filled it up, they are let go. Back at the office, Rufria thinks about what caused the accident and if Far could be a dragon, but instantly doesn't believe it. It could possibly be true. I had quite a good fun time with this episode. We get to see the interactions between the characters more because we haven't had them as a whole group a majority of the time. It's been like groups of 2 or 3, but we only seen the group in the main office, so it was nice to see them all hang out going to fill up this the power meter for the warp gates. So that was quite cool. We get a bit of backstory on Far because we obviously see the design that she's got a tail, so obviously she's some kind of like half creature, but we've never had a good idea. But we've seen little flashbacks of their the shop's owner like rescuing her, so I'm interested to see like if she is actually a dragon and that's why she's so powerful. And I wonder if like everyone else is going to find out, and then there'll be like a bit more distance with her, and then the rest of the team will be the only ones that will be there for her, and she'll be like ostracized by the whole town, which will be really a bummer for her because she loves everyone. She just wants to hang out and have fun and help people find their right homes, which she's such a nice character for that. And I imagine like Kotane will be like one of the main people to like be by her side. So I'm looking forward to finding out like more about her character. So episode 4 will be a good like continuation of like we get all these people finding their homes, and then the little side story of who is Far and what is her real involvement with these dragons that are appearing now. Okay, on to the next thing I watched was Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2 Episode 3. Everyone is getting into their positions for the Spirit Tortoise attack, with Nafumi leading the charge of the main unit. They have also set traps in the valley with the giant ballistic arrows. Nafumi and team aggro the Spirit Tortoise familiars, while the army goes straight for the tortoise to lure it into the trap which works. Spirit Tortoise is now in between two cliffs full of soldiers, now firing at its legs. Nafumi and the team deal with the familiars, but receive news that the army is dealing damage to the tortoise. They are also taking heavy casualties, over 50% of the troops. Nafumi then gets to assist, but Ost realises something. The Spirit Tortoise still has a long-range attack. They witness the tortoise fire down large magic spears at the army, obliterating many. Nafumi puts into place Plan B, that involves the mages firing their own magic at the Spirit Tortoise. This attack cuts the tortoise, and with the extra help of Raftalia, Philo and Nafumi, they manage to cut its head off. However, while celebrating, they realise Ost is still there, which means the Spirit Tortoise isn't fully dead somehow. This was a really cool episode because it's basically just one whole battle, and like it starts off like they're literally just running in, and there's no like build up, it's just straight in, and it was just great. I loved it because we get to see now Fumi's like leadership, like he takes charge, he runs out, gets the familiars, and they deal with them, while he sends off the army to like almost like corner the tortoise, and then just fire arrows and like magic at it constantly to keep it on guard and make sure it doesn't move away. So then now Fumi can like finish off the familiars and then come join in, and then like even though the army is getting badly beaten up, they are in a bad position. Once that now Fumi and the team get there, they all put all their resources together and eventually destroy it. But I have no idea what's going on though, because they clearly killed it. Its head was clean cut off, but it somehow isn't completely dead. I'm interested to see what they do. Is it not the real tortoise? Is it the wrong one? Or is it something along those lines? Is it like a fake one or something? Because it clearly had power, because those long range attacks were destroying everything in sight. So I'm interested to see what they've done here, because it's built up a lot of tension. Like, who's the real tortoise? Because Ost clearly is confused. Even she thought that they would have won, and she's like, well, what's going on? So it seems like a lot of people are in the dark here, so I'm interested to see where they go. And maybe the next episode will be another like a full-on battle episode. We might get a bit of like explanation for the first half, like what's going on, why this happened, and then the next half will be okay. Let's go to attack the real one, or something like that. Which should be a great watch again, because I'm loving the Shield Heroes. It's a fun series altogether. Okay, then the next episode I watched was Birdie Wing episode 3. Eve has started her day of golf after Rose made a deal with one of the sponsors to get her in. Eve has been placed into a group of traditional golfers, and every shot she takes leaves them in awe. Aoi sees her and cannot wait to start her day. Eve spends her whole day shocking everyone by how different and better she is than everyone. When Aoi starts her round, her caddy, Amane, believes Eve is nothing to worry about, but when she takes the same shot through the forest hole from the day before, she easily makes it through. Because of Eve's strength and ability, Amane now sees Eve as Aoi's rival. Throughout the day, Eve and Aoi keep track of each other's scores and continue to push ahead. Back in Japan, Eve and Aoi's teammates have started watching, but are surprised at how well an unknown like Eve is doing. At the end, Eve finishes her round and submits her score, and after a quick chat with Rose, gets to watch Aoi's last hole. Aoi is level on scores and takes the last shot to win, but it seems she misses. This is another great run like Shield Hero. It's basically just action the whole episode. There's very little like explanation or explanation dialogue. It's literally golf shot, more hype. It was actually really fun because Aoi gets to see like Rose start her day. No, Aoi gets to see Eve start her day, and she's just so hyped, and she just can't wait to have her round of golf and like properly compete against someone she feels like is a rival in the sense. Because Eve is just like she wants to be good at golf, and once she saw Aoi face her, she got this really like motivation to do something with it, and that's why she went to Rose to get the set up to join it. So I'm really enjoying how Eve is like growing as a golfer, and not just like this like scammer that like does it to win money. She's like seeing Aoi's like talent as like I want to do that as well, which is really nice. Even characters like Amane, the caddy for Aoi, is like even like seeing her as a proper rival. Like, oh, she's got really good quality golfing skills. So I imagine like for the rest of the season they're going to be like going at each other, like going up to different tournaments, and then at the end they'll be like, here is the final best person, and they'll be like the two that will be like the future of golfing for women. It should be really fun to see because they're going to push each other to get better, which is always going to make for better entertainment. Okay, and the next thing I watched was Miss Shachiku and the Little Baby Ghost, episode 3. Fushihara has finished her day and can actually go home on time for once, which makes her extremely happy. But when Yuri pops out later, she is conflicted. She is happy Fushihara has gone home, but is sad that she can't see her. However, Fushihara has to come back, which Yuri immediately says to leave, but jumps into her arms with a smile. It has been thundering, which scares Yuri, so Fushihara invites Yuri to stay at hers, and on the way back they find an abandoned kitten in a box. Yuri and Fushihara decide to bring it home and look after it. Yuri names it Miyako. Yuri and Miyako spend the day together and get closer, while Fushihara is worried they are getting along great. Later on, an old friend invites Fushihara to drinks and seems to be ghost sensitive, realizing Fushihara has been near one. He says the ghost is cute and helpful, which puts a smile on Fushihara's face. The next day, Fushihara is leaving when Miyako turns into a small cat girl who asks how she can help as well, to both their surprise. This was just like the first couple of episodes. This is just really cute. It's just watching them just be cute, and Fushihara just being tired, and every time she sees Yuri she's always like, oh, that's so cute, and the narrator will say the exact same thing, which is just fun. It's lovely to watch. We've got this new character, which obviously you've seen in the intro. There's 4 that we're going to get introduced to, and this is the second one, Miyako, the cat girl. She seems like she's just going to be just as sweet as Yuri, and she just wants to help as well, because they brought her in from the rain and looked after her, and she just wants to pay back the favour because they looked after her, so she wants to look after them, which is a really nice thing. I'm also looking forward to obviously the other characters we're going to meet, but the banter between the two, because Yuri just wants to help Fushihara, and Miyako wants to help as well, and they're just like they're just cute little characters that are looking out for Fushihara, who's a bit of a a corporate slave, and she is tired all the time. She doesn't really care about having messy rooms and stuff, and they just wanna help because Fushihara is a nice person, and Yuri and Miyako just wanna be helpful because that's just who they are. They're just helpful characters looking out for Fushihara. So I'm looking forward to see how cute she thinks their banter between the two characters will be. So that should be good. Okay, then the next thing I watched was Dawn of the Witch, episode 3. Sable and the group continue their journey and stop at an inn. They have to somehow heal Kudo's hands and tail, so Lost decides to siphon some of Sable's limitless magic to use. They join hands and Kudo does the chant. Both hands and tail regrow and they celebrate. They continue on to the next town and decide to stop for a rest and bath. Through a load of mischief, Sable, Kudo and Holt all get embarrassed in the bath, while Lost doesn't care for such childish reactions. On their travels they discuss the strength of having magic, the lives of witches, and what witches with long lives do and live for. All Lost lives for now is fun, even if that's war, as long as it's entertaining. While walking through the woods, they come across a young boy running and hide with him. He was being followed by a white tiger Beastfallen, the mercenary from Grimoire of Zero. While he talks, Lost, Sable, Holt and Kudo run to the village with the boy and find a man with a strap over his eyes. This is really cool because they've properly connected it to the bigger universe, which is cool because we've obviously seen them in the intro and the outro and like glimpses of them in the episodes. The was it the Mud Witch, I think they called her, the main one from the previous series, and now we've got the mercenary joining in. He seems just as strong and what's the word, cocky as ever, because he's a rather powerful character. It was cool to see the group's journey continue and to see the banter between them for the bath scene. That was quite funny. Loss is growing as a teacher character. She's a confident character, but she wants to help these kids out, which is nice to see. I'm interested to see where this new character with the belted blindfold is. I don't know who he is. Is good, bad? We'll have to see. But yeah, it's an enjoyable series. So I'm interested to see where it goes from here. Like, will Sable's magic get more controlled? Will he become a really powerful wizard or caster? And then Kudo, will he become a great soldier? And then Holt learn to trust people, because obviously she's had a rough upbringing. So I'm interested to see where the characters and their development goes. Okay, and the next thing I watched was The Greatest Demon Lord is Reborn as a Typical Nobody, Episode 3. After the display by Ard, the headmaster and Olivia have asked Ard to take part in a fighting event and eventually asked the Queen to provide more funding for the school. Since Olivia is involved, Ard doesn't have much of a choice. Later on, Ginny asks Ard out on a date, but Arena intervenes to object. Ginny doesn't mind and suggests a 3-person date. They meet up and go to the theatre for a play about Ard's previous life, which he sees many mistakes with. After they take a walk and come across some suspicious individuals in cloaks, so they follow them. After they follow them into the sewer, they realise it was a trap for them. The hooded group attack Ard, but to no effect. Ard then obliterates the majority of them. One of the last surviving ones turns into a demon and attacks. Ard follows quickly behind. After a quick hostage situation, Ard takes out the demon to applause by the surrounding crowd of people. They are eventually called in front of the Queen. The Queen is rather eccentric, asking to marry Ard, but that is shot down. She then promises a high title, which many of the court disagree with. Then eventually Ard asks for the school funding, which she accepts, but also gives ranks to Ard, Arena and Ginny. The last shot being of more hooded individuals scheming. This was a really fun episode. We obviously get to see the characters interact and get more friendly, because obviously Ginny's a new character to the trio, so we didn't really know what their banter was going to be like, but clearly she's a rather a romantic character for Ard, who's a bit like, okay, I guess I'll deal with that. He's not too fussed about it, but he's like, okay then, that's fine. The play was strange because we get to see the elf woman that was dead in his previous life. She's a rather tomboy. She was rather a violent character, but in the play she was a bit more loving and caring, so he was a bit taken aback by that, which was quite funny. Yeah, and we get to see this group of hooded characters. I don't know who they are. They're trying to bring back some evil lord or something, and they're trying to, I think, use one of the three. They don't really say, but I don't think it was Ard, because they tried to kill him outright, so it's either Arena or Ginny they're trying to use. So that should be an interesting new overall plot for the rest of the season, and maybe we'll get introduced to the big bad who's controlling this group, so that should be a cool antagonist to round off the season. The Queen was a very strange one as well. She wasn't exactly what I thought a Queen would be, so that was quite funny to see. And I'm looking forward to see how this continues on, because Ard, as he's said in many of the episodes, he doesn't want to drag attention to himself, but he seems to keep doing it. So it's quite funny to see how he's going to manage all this pressure and all these eyes on him, so that should be fun to see. Okay, and the last episode I watched was Skeleton Knight from Another World, Episode 3. Ark and Ponta have taken up a quest to get rid of a group of bandits hiding out in a cave. Ark and Ponta arrive and quickly deal with the group, and even find some extra rewards of all the treasure the bandits had stolen. Job well done. On the way out, they encounter the elf girl again, who attacks, thinking Ark is a bandit. After clearing up the misunderstanding, Ariana says she is looking for any elf children that have been kidnapped to sell off. Unfortunately, none were in the cave. After using some of the treasure to enjoy a nice dinner, Ark and Ponta travel to the elf village, but on the way they come across slavers taking a group of young elf girls. As he was about to intervene, Ariana appears to take them on. When the leader threatens one of the girls, Ark also jumps in and Ark and Arena take them all out. They then set free the girls and heal them. Ariana is amazed by Ark's ability with magic and relationship with the spirit animal Ponta. As the girls are taken back to the village, Ariana makes a proposition to Ark to hire him to join her on a mission to free other imprisoned elves. I'm really loving this series. It's just another fun isekai. Ark is just a funny character. He because obviously he knows he's in this game world and he's just having fun, just doing quests, and he's got his new companion Ponta, and we've also now officially met the Elf Go Arena, and I imagine this is how they become proper party members, like through these quests to help free any of the elf slaves. But it's really cool to see how she thinks of Ponta as this almighty spirit creature, because he doesn't look like much. He's a little fox, and he hasn't shown himself to be overly powerful. We just know he's very sensitive to enemies every time they get near one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see how powerful Ponta really is, and he's gonna get like overpowered in one episode, and he'll like turn into a huge fox or something. That should be really fun to see. And again, it was really fun to see the battles. But this one wasn't. It was a strange one because in the first episode we saw how Odd sliced that whole group in half. It was pretty graphic, and they had the warning because obviously I watch it on Crunchyroll, so they had the warning showing it was graphic and stuff. But in this episode, Ariana went through, sliced everyone, no blood. So I assume she's a very skilled fighter that doesn't have to like be too deadly. She's just like slice, 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 and then she's done with no gore or anything, which is interesting to see just how skilled of a fighter she is. And it's going to be interesting to see how their relationship continues, because Ark is just a fun character who's just having a fun time doing quests, and he's not really thinking about the overall picture, while Ariana's on a mission to save her people, and Ark is just going to be a good help because he's rather overpowered and loves to get the job done. Okay, and that was all I watched for the last week's episodes, Monday through Thursday. I had a good time watching all these episodes. They were all just good third episodes, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what continues through the rest of the series. So if you did like the episode, make sure to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all the future uploads. I'm definitely going to be doing at least 1 or 2 episodes this week, so keep your eyes out for that. If there's any other series you can recommend, make sure to leave them down in the comments, because I'm always looking for new and good shows to continue watching. You can never have too many good shows. So yeah, so until next time, I'll see you later.